Welcome to Selectory, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the 10 best action movies on Netflix. Within the category of action movies, Netflix has a pretty wide range of options. Some could just as easily fall under the umbrella of science fiction or comedy. We have narrowed the list down to focus on influential classics like Total Recall, along with big blockbusters that fare well on aggregate sites like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. We also try to reflect the wide range of subgenres, including popular superhero movies like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and bloody martial arts flicks like The Grandmaster. Hopefully the list has something for action junkies of all tastes. Number 10, Headshot. Fans of the Raid movies will happy to find more of what they love in Headshot. The Indonesian star and action choreographer, Iko Uwais, teams up with directing duo Timo Tjahjanto and Kimo Stambol to provide another 2 hours of thrilling fight scenes. Imagine the plot of The Bourne Identity, but with fight scenes from The Raid. It's the action thriller Headshot, which stars Iko Uwais as an amnesiac who has to protect himself, and his psychologist from an army of martial arts assassins who want him dead. Headshot doesn't look like it will break any new boundaries, but for those looking for a good Asian action film will find enough punches, shootouts, and fighting to satisfy. As expected, the performances by the cast are fine considering the one-dimensional nature of the characters. Written to be a lean mean fighting machine, Headshot cuts its way through the jungle of commercial cinema. No time is wasted in developing character or setting up plot, all the energy goes directly into filling the screen with nothing but martial arts and marksmanship. It is a formula well executed and will likely please action fans. Number 9, The Grandmaster. A martial arts film about Wing Chun founder IP Man, takes viewers into an exotic world filled with clandestine fights, gangsters, and forbidden love. It defies stereotypes by painting its protagonist not as a superhuman hero, but as a flawed but charismatic human being. With a legendary director like Wong Kar-wai behind the camera, if you should expect anything other than greatness? With one of history's greatest warriors as his subject matter, Kar-wai created an action-packed martial arts epic that is considered a masterpiece. The famous actors Tony Leung and Zhang Zi give the film an authentic feel, adding to the storyline. The visual effects of the film are stunning, but more than that, it surrounds the audience with an environment where fantasy and reality are swirling gracefully. This is a world where the brutal demands of life shape us into what we need to be, in order to fulfill our destiny. If the viewer can set aside any prejudices about what it should be, The Grandmaster is both engaging and thematically rich, and will leave you mulling for days. Number 8, Extraction. Netflix is constantly coming out with new original content, but some of their newest releases don't live up to the hype. Not so with Extraction, which features MCU players like Chris Hemsworth, Sam Hargrave, Joe, and Anthony Russo. In this lean mean thriller, Hemsworth plays a tortured mercenary, who must rescue a Bengali teen from a vengeful drug lord. The unlikely hero is assigned the impossible task of doing so. Hargrave himself directs this intense film that switches from intense dramatics to fast-paced action sequences to keep audiences on the edge of their seats. Extraction became the largest Netflix original movie debut, raking in nearly 100 million viewers in its opening month. Plans are now underway for a sequel, with the Russo brothers hoping to create an entire Extraction cinematic universe. The movie is a simple, yet satisfying display of expertly choreographed stunts. It features an exhaustingly awesome showcase of expertly choreographed fists, knives, guns, and explosions. If you enjoyed the epic fights between Bucky and Steve in the Captain America films, you will certainly enjoy this movie. Number 7, The Old Guard. The Old Guard tells the story of 4 immortal mercenaries, tasked with protecting the world from the forces of darkness. Some have lived centuries while Andy, the leader of the group, is so ancient she can't even remember how long she's been alive. The movie was based on a graphic novel series of the same name, written by Greg Rucka and illustrated by Leandro Fernandez. It begins when a militarized pharmaceutical company learns of the group's secret, and hunts them down so they can monetize whatever's giving them unnaturally long life. The Old Guard is a movie with a simple premise at first glance. But as you dive into the action and the story, you'll find that it's so much more than just a run-of-the-mill genre flick. Charlize Theron does an excellent job of portraying Andy, a hardened, flawed, and complicated character who leads a team of undying mercenaries for hundreds of years, and faces many difficult challenges along the way. The Old Guard is a fascinating, new take on ancient warriors and immortality. It has everything that viewers crave, including intriguing characters and a rich mythology. Despite its clunky exposition about how it all works, the movie is well worth watching for those who want something new. Number 6, Mosul. Based on a New Yorker article from Luke Mogelson, Mosul is a mesmerizing war movie that is shot in an intense but verite style. It was written by the director of The Kingdom and World War Z, and is produced by the Russo brothers of Marvel Universe mega success. Despite being at a lower budget, this movie is an excellent companion to some of the most dramatic war movies of this century. The film is filled with POV docudrama camera angles that make it feel like the viewer is in the middle of the action. Dangerous yet heroic, Mosul follows a group of anti-hero renegades as they fight ISIS in their home city. They are trying to stay alive while also trying to protect the locals. This is a sometimes wrenching and draining film, but it's also a powerful and deeply moving tribute to these gentlemen. Along with excellent editing by Alex Rodriguez, great contributions from director of photography Mauro Fiore, and direction by Michael Carnahan, the movie skillfully captures the history of the war in Iraq, and captures many of its most important moments. This is one of the most gripping, intense recent history war film ever made. Number 5, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott has just started dating 17-year-old high school student Knives Chow. However, his affections quickly change focus when he meets Ramona Flowers, a rollerblading delivery girl from Amazon.ca. He is instantly smitten with her, and realizes that she is the girl of his dreams. You know that feeling when you dream about a person, and then they show up in real life? It turns out that's exactly what happened to Scott. Ramona kind of likes him too, but there's a problem. In order to date her, he'll have to defeat her 7 evil exes. Inspired by the comic series, the movie has an interesting format. It's structured like a video game. Every boss is called an X, and they each have special powers and transform into coins when they're defeated. This movie is really cool, because it's incorporating sound bites from games like Zelda, Mario Bros., Sonic the Hedgehog, and Street Fighter. It seems realism isn't a big concern here, but once you're into the movie, even the most outlandish elements seem natural. If you grew up with Nintendo and MTV, you'll enjoy this film. Its middle part drags a little, and its ending won't satisfy everyone. It might be a little limited, but we have no doubts recommending it wholeheartedly. Number 4, Total Recall. This is an action-packed movie with tons of violence. Nearly every shot in the movie is interesting because of special effects, which is one of the most visually compelling science fiction movies in a long time. The plot is based on a story by the great science fiction writer Philip K. Dick, and center on the intriguing idea, what happens if you could be given memories? What if your entire past, right up until this moment, could be inserted into your brain and replace the life experiences you actually experienced? That's what seems to happen to Quaid, the Schwarzenegger character in Total Recall. However, we can't be too sure of this because sometimes neither he nor we know what's going on. But that uncertainty is also what makes the film so thrilling. Total Recall was released right in the middle of Arnold Schwarzenegger's peak period as an action star, and it's still one of his absolute best movies. It presents a blend of sci-fi and Arnold's trademark brand of action that has been seen in his movies throughout his career. If you have not already seen the movie, we strongly suggest you do so. You will not regret it. Number 3, Casino Royale. Casino Royale is nothing short of an amazing accomplishment. It's based on Ian Fleming's first Bond novel, with the goal of revitalizing the franchise with a sense of realism. After years of bloat and self-parody, 007 is once again cool, relevant, and most importantly, real. Despite what some critics have said, the plot to Casino Royale is pretty simple. After 007 foils Le Chiffre's latest scheme, to bilk the stock market using his client's money, the villain has only a limited time to get back $100 million before his clients catch up and kill him. Le Chiffre intends to raise his stakes and win back his losses in a high-stakes poker tournament, at the titular casino in Montenegro. MI6 sends one of their best card players, James Bond, to beat Le Chiffre and hope he will turn on his terrorist friends. The heart of Casino Royale is not just its suspenseful storyline, but the love story between the protagonist, James Bond, and his love interest, Vesper. Fortunately, the filmmakers have pulled it off with class and heart. James Bond's story in Casino Royale is an iconic one. It's not about the violence and bloodshed itself. It's about Bond's realization of his place in the world, and his dedication to do whatever it takes to defeat the threat behind the threat. Number 2, Mad Max Fury Road. George Miller's Mad Max films gave us the visceral stunt work and singular vision of a desperate future that no other post-apocalyptic movies have. They made Mel Gibson a star, and changed what post-apocalyptic movies were all about. CGI has come a long way since the last Mad Max film, and the audience can expect to see intense action scenes reminiscent of what they've come to love. Mad Max Fury Road is an action movie about the importance of redemption and revolution. Miller's greatest talent is never repeating himself, but this time he has gone even further with his imagination of the future. He has created a world in which men are continually controlled by insane leaders, and women hold fiercely onto the last vestiges of hope. Fury Road is a film that may not be entirely groundbreaking in terms of visuals, but it certainly stands out for its sound and editing. There has never been a blockbuster with editing and sound design this good. Miller wants to make Fury Road more than just a technical achievement, for he reaches for an emotional connection to viewers. The movie is a challenging and audacious look at the future of the action film genre. It urges action filmmakers to try harder and create something new. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. As no one would argue, Cameron's sequel to his already beloved movie, Terminator, was an incredible movie. This follow-up to the science fiction hybrid was perfect because it combined eye-popping CGI effects, intense action, and expert storytelling. It's been a few years since the events of Terminator, in which a robot from the future was sent back to kill Sarah Connor before she could give birth to John Connor, the future leader of the human resistance. Now the machines are trying again. They're bringing a new model to the table, the T-1000 played by Robert Patrick. It's a liquid metal predator that's more advanced than the last version. But humans fight back with another Terminator of their own that's played by Schwarzenegger. Programmed to protect John Connor, who is now an adolescent. This time the Terminator also tries to stop the chain of events that lead up to Judgment Day. As the saying goes, there is no fate but what we make ourselves. The Terminator 2 is not only one of the best sequels of all time, but one of the greatest action sci-fi movies ever made. It's also a movie that holds up for its time remarkably well, and even for today's standards. We encourage you to go back and watch it if you haven't seen it lately. You'll be surprised how much you'll enjoy it the second time around. Be sure to check out this video here on Selectory, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.